It's 4 o'clock. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Our first item is the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Molso, would you read our mission statement?
The mission of the Marshall Public School District is to educate, support, and prepare all learners for success.
Thank you. Our next item is approval of the agenda. I'll need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Jeff and seconded by Sarah Brink. Any discussion? If not, I'll call for the vote. And the agenda is approved. Next item is a public forum. Is there anybody from the public that would like to approach the board? If not, we'll move on to our presentation. Welcome, Beth and Shanda, and your guests from the CEO program. We're excited to hear about it.
All right, yes, so we are super excited, or I'm super excited for Shanda, and we have 3 students with us today. We have Paige, Braxton, and Tate. They're going to share a little bit about the CEO program, or Creating Entrepreneurial Opportunities. As many of you know, this program has been like 2 years in progress. Jeremy and I had attended a training probably 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. We're like, yeah, we need this in Marshall Public Schools. And it's a very unique program to Marshall Schools. They'll talk more about it, but it's super exciting to finally this year see it come into fruition, and we're rocking and rolling. These kids are doing great. We have a great inaugural class. They'll talk about everything that's included with the class, and we're already starting recruitment efforts for our class next year. So with that being said, I will turn it over to Shanda, and you guys go right ahead and tell them all about our awesome program. Shanda is our facilitator, Shanda Walker.
Hello. Hi. Yes, I am Shanda Walker, so I'm the facilitator, which is kind of like a teacher because I have to wrangle them every morning and motivate them to be there at 7:15. But I get the added bonus of letting other people do the actual teaching. So that makes CEO a little bit more fun and exciting for them. They're learning from new people every single day. So CEO, as you know, or maybe you don't, is completely funded by business investors. So Marshall and the communities that we are in, this is Lyon and Murray County, so we are also in the Tracy and Murray County Central Public School Districts. We have business investors from all of those communities who have decided that they take an interest in what we're learning and wanting to make sure that these students have the opportunity to learn from people in the community and learn what great opportunities are available to them right here in our hometowns. And so they have committed to a 3-year commitment for $1,000 a year for 3 years. Right now we are on the brink of 50 investors, and I know our board of directors is always constantly recruiting and discussing with other business entrepreneurs on getting more investors. We also have a Friends of the CEO program where individuals or businesses, if they don't want to make that full commitment of $1,000 a year, they can still offer funds to go towards what we consider our Friends of the CEO kind of fund. So since students are required to get themselves to class every day and they're traveling all around, they have been given gift cards for gas a few times throughout the year. If a student has a financial need for additional funds, if they have a financial need for receiving professional dress clothes that they're required to wear, anything like that, the Friends of the CEO budget is used, those dollars are used for that. It's open to high school juniors and seniors. It is an application process, so not everyone who applies is accepted into the program. They're required to get 3 references, one of whom is their counselor from the school, and then 2 other outside references, kind of speaking to the character of the person. They don't have to already have a business that they run or have, really high level of business acumen, but they have to be a very dedicated person who's interested in pursuing entrepreneurial opportunities or having the opportunity to learn outside the classroom. There is not a GPA requirement, so if a student maybe struggles academically in the traditional sense, that doesn't automatically exempt them from CEO. They are still more than welcome to apply and basically prove their merit through their hard work and attendance. We meet for 90 minutes a day, every single day, beginning at 7:15 in the morning. They will tell you that the first couple weeks was a little bit rough, but they did adapt relatively quickly, and a lot of times they are at our location of the day before I am. So they've really embraced the if you are on time, you're late, and if you are early, you're on time. They do a very good job of that. They get 2 high school credits throughout the year, so 1 each semester. And the goal through Midland Institute, which is like the parent organization, is that they will have visits from 30 to 50 area businesses each year and host 30 to 40 guest speakers. So they're either being spoken to, for example, this morning we were at City Hall here in Marshall and had John Drown come as our guest speaker. And then there are other opportunities where we've toured ADM or we're lined up to tour CHS here in the coming weeks. And there's more slides. We'll talk about that. 21st century learning skills, you know, these guys, one of the first weeks of class, we learned proper handshakes. We learned how to address an envelope. We've talked about, had multiple speakers come and talk about business ledgers and keeping track of your expenses and what a budget is. Some of those skills that maybe are taught or alluded to in the classroom, but they get the opportunity to actually use them in real time because they get the opportunity to actually start 3 businesses throughout the year. The first business is used to fund their name badges that Paige is wearing, that they're required to wear every day. So that's a very, we call it our micro venture. And basically, again, as a facilitator, I don't tell them what to do. I say, you need name badges and you need to run a business in order to acquire those name badges. And that's pretty much the direction I give them. And they were able to fund them. They did all have them. I don't know if they still all have them, but they at the beginning they did. Yes, they did. And then the second business was their class business, which many of you probably had the opportunity to see throughout the holiday time. It was called Minnesotafied. And so they started an apparel business. They sold sweatshirts, long sleeve shirts, mugs, hats, stickers, and tumblers. And that business did incredibly well. Braxton was our finance guy, so I'll let him talk more about that. And now they're working on their individual businesses. So each of these young professionals is starting up an individual business. They will receive real money, real funds from the board of directors as seed money to start this individual business, which we'll be launching this spring and then highlighted at our trade show in May, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. So, where am I going? So this is our inaugural class of the Marshall School District. There are 15 students currently in the class. 3 of them are juniors, 12 of them are seniors. And then we have 3 students from Murray County Central that participate as well. This is close to what we would consider a cap for the class due to space and due to timing and funds and all those types of things. We do cap the class at 22. Our board of directors, Beth would be one of them. Thank you, Beth. They really are the ones who started the program, started acquiring investors about a year before our class even started. And so they still meet every 2 weeks to keep us on top of our game and help all of us figure out what we're doing with the whole fire hose that's coming at us, learning this for the first time. So super fun for them, I'm sure. And
Computer
Go.
over here.
or not, maybe not. Yeah, says it is. There it is. And that's me. I'm the facilitator. And I don't know what happened to my email address, but you can get it. So I'm going to let these guys talk. I don't know, Braxton, you want to talk? Sure.
Okay, so our business was Minnesotified, as you can see pictured. We have our sweatshirts there. We also sold tumblers, coffee mugs, some stickers, and long sleeve shirts. Is that everything? Hats. Yeah, so about 8 to 10 items we sold. Figuring out all of those items, we had, as a class, had to decide, what products are going to sell the best in the region and what products are we going to make the most money on. And I think I got quotes from 5 or 6 different local businesses. So our class isn't just, sitting in the classroom. We're actually helping and growing the local economy through the school. So it has that plus side to it also. So we decided all of these different products to sell, sold these products, developed them. One of the students was great in art, so she designed all of these. So we turned from an idea to $20,000 in profit in about 3 to 4 months. Awesome. With this class. So I would just say that's a simple thing, not super easy. The class starts at 7:15 in the morning, but, it's lots of emails after school, lots of work running to different local businesses, trying to get stuff coordinated and printed and, priced. And also, we have this little thing called sales tax. And sales tax in Marshall just happens to be different than our other, communities that we partner with. So on the finance side, I had to do projections, and, we had to determine how much we're going to charge, and also the sales tax, how much we're making, because it's 7.38 versus, the regular 0.5% less than that. So it's all of these different things that we had to factor out and to determine, how to grow our business and what products to sell and, how we did it. And I don't know, Paige, do you want to talk a little bit about, how we came up with the business?
No. Here we go. So, how long were we kind of figuring out our business? Like 2-3 weeks-ish? We had a few ideas. The first one was, okay, we're in the fall time. What about a fall festival? And we're like, all right, so we're going to need how long to create this like service and then actually put it on. And so by the time we were actually able to get the funds, do pitch, it had probably been November or December when we put it on. So we're like, that's not going to work. Then we thought of doing lights and shoveling. And that kind of, I think, went against, what was it, Light Up the Night, and there was other services. So we're like, okay, we're back to kind of square one. And we all were just like racking our brains of what should we do. And someone came up with, like, we had a conversation, I loved it. It was like something about our grandparents, like, calling us silly goose or sassafras, and then we caught on a roll, like, okay, what are, like, Midwestern sayings, like, you betcha, or oh dear. And so we're like, oh my gosh, that's kind of fun. And someone was like, what if we do that for an apparel? Like, really base it off of our home culture and what the Midwest and Minnesota is all about. So then we came up with that, and I wish we have a sticker that says Silly Goose, and that was like the first design. Then we got on to Minnesotified, and that's how the business kind of came together. And we went to pitch day with our board members, and they approved it. And really, our board members are really amazing because we went into thinking, oh, we made $200, I think, or had $200 extra dollars, and we're like, okay, how are we going to figure this out? And they're like, give us a substantial amount more for supporting our business. So that was really encouraging. And they had so many other great ideas, be like, what if you tried this? Or what if you did it for kids? So I'm very grateful for them. Thank you.
Sure. I guess they took everything from everything, but I guess what I like about the class is we have a lot of guest speakers that come in and talk to us about what they do day to day, and we get to learn from them, from people that are actually doing what they're teaching. So I think that's pretty cool. Should we say our individual business too? Or, okay. Then.
The state wrestler and you're ahead of me on that. So as I mentioned, tours and guest speakers, the goal is 30 to 50 speakers and 30 to 40 tours. Keeping in mind that this concept for this idea was started in Illinois, and I don't know how familiar you are with Illinois, but they don't have quite as many snow days as we do here. Yeah. So that has, obviously caused us to need to call some audibles a few times. We are on pretty good track still, though. We have had 25 speakers and 17 tours of just different businesses so far this year, with obviously a few months left to go in the year. So we're probably on pretty well on track with that. Just a few images here of some of the speakers that we have heard from. Top right there was a sales panel. Brad Gruhot from the Chamber moderated a sales panel with Gus Condezzo, Tara Onken, Charlie Ellers, Perry McNeil, and Amy Weimer from Borges. And then a tour of Slayton Building Materials there, and then Trevor Humphrey from Mears Electric. Those are just a few of the images up there. But anybody want to speak about us?
Yeah,
Particular tour or speaker?
So my all-time favorite speaker was, I forget his name, but he was well, Michael Zabella is always really good, but we were at it was at the insurance place. There was a guy, he taught us all of the basic foundation stuff. Dan Kipley. He taught us all the basic foundation, handshakes, that type of stuff, the envelope, all of that kind of stuff. And I know you guys may chuckle, but a lot of our class, we're juniors and seniors and we don't know how to do this. You guys all chuckle now, but that probably should be something in the curriculum to talk to your guys about. And I don't know if that was an open forum thing that should have been brought up, but, that might be something good that we should add, But, yeah, because I really enjoyed that part, and we've had a lot of good panels and speakers, and it just, it adds so much just to the business, to your personal life. You don't even have to be wanting to go into business to do the class. You learn just day-to-day life skills, so.
Sure. My favorite speaker was Mike Zabel or Michael Zabel? Yeah, him. He was the CEO of True Shrimp, and he has a lot of stories of what he did for Schwann's and being an entrepreneur there. So I just really enjoyed listening to him speak.
Who was it? Mike Zabel?
Yeah.
Yes, I have a few. Well, just to piggyback off of what Braxton says, you do learn a lot about business, like taxes, how to inner workings of the financial. But how I really enjoy it is the amount of life lessons they've learned and just motivational. They might say it really quick. One was do anything how you do everything, and that's really stuck with me with this. Just make sure you do the small things how you would do the big things. And so just little things like that I really take to heart, and I really appreciate learning from all these different people.
Okay. As I mentioned, some of the life skills, and you guys have gotten a front seat view of this, their public speaking is phenomenal. And I can't say that any of them were bad public speakers before, but the level of confidence and the willingness that they have to do public speaking engagement has greatly improved. It used to be, hey guys, I'm going to go speak at Kiwanis or Rotary. Can someone come with me and help? They want to hear from you. They don't want to hear from me. And they're like, or my favorite one, do we get extra credit? None of them need extra credit. They're doing fine. But and now I don't have that problem. They're very willing and excited. They're offering to speak to underclassmen about the class during registration time. They're engaging with the speakers before and after. They did their business pitches. They did their individual banker meeting. Braxton got to auctioneer on the radio. And now they get to pitch again here next Friday on their final individual businesses. So they're learning so much more outside of the typical classroom curriculum. We do have a mentor program as well. So once a month, they meet in person with their mentors or in a group of mentors to discuss basically anything that they would need. At first, it was regarding the class business, and now it's regarding their individual businesses. And it's mentors from all over the communities, most of them entrepreneurs, who can assist them with, have you thought of, banking needs or insurance needs or what kind of advertising or market research and that type of thing. So I don't know if any of you want to speak about the mentoring or your specific mentor.
My mentor is Darcy Carlson, and she is at Midwest Bank in Slayton, and she's just been a tremendous help. Tracy, sorry. Okay, and so she's just been a tremendous help, and I'm truly grateful for the mentorship program because, I mean, we have each other, but at the same time, it's like, and we have Shanda to guide us a little bit, but still at the same time, you have someone else coming in and just from their own experiences giving opinions about business. I know for sure she's really helped me with my individual business, so I'm greatly appreciative of it.
My mentor is Jen Gravin. She's part of the marketing at True Shrimp, and she's helped my individual business to help me find my target market and help it grow.
You know, I think the mentorship program is great just because, you know, you learn best from the people that do it every day. You know, it's one thing to have your teacher that's educated, great, and all of the teachers are pretty well. But, you know, my mentor is Eric Eben, who does accounting and finance. You know, when I want to price my stuff and I want to figure out the finances for, you know, the business, it's best to go to those people that do it every single day. And this class has done that just beyond the mentorship program, just in general.
Had to put some fun pictures up there too, because it is sometimes work, and it's mostly work and sometimes play, but it's also given these young professionals an opportunity to build relationships outside of who they would maybe normally build relationships with in school, and with individuals from other schools. We have a text thread that there's all sorts of fun stuff and encouragement and hyping up of each other, sharing resources. Our own entrepreneurs, the puppies are Jet Wings puppies, and the sheep are John Borboom's sheep. And that's John Borboom eating a fresh shrimp from the basin at True Shrimp in Ballatin, and they got to do elevator pitches in an elevator. So some of those things that, again, you get to do, get them up and moving and doing a little bit more that way. And then, yeah, right. Okay, so this is about the upcoming opportunities for you to support them with their individual businesses, but I am going to have them talk a little bit about what their individual businesses are, just to kind of give you guys a taste of that. So I don't know who wants to start. Go ahead.
All right. So my individual business is pressing flowers. Kind of the process of it is you take fresh flowers and you have two boards, like 1-inch plywood, has to be pretty heavy, and you lay down cardboard and then paper, and then you put your fresh flowers down, and then you put another piece of paper and cardboard because you want to suck up all the moisture of it. So after the process of like 2 to 3 weeks, you can also microwave them to make them go faster. They're flat and they're as thin as paper and they're dry. So then what you do is you can reassemble the flowers into how their original shape, but just 2D. And then you put them into a framed two-sided glass picture or on paper, and they're framed. And so the reason I really got into that is not just because I think flowers are just gorgeous to look at and just the nature side of it, but you can really capture the sentimental value they have from an event, like a wedding, a baby shower, a birthday, just a really monumental event that happened in your life. And instead of throwing it out 2 weeks later, you have it for years to come. So that's my business.
And what's it called?
Oh, it's called Pages Posies.
My business is a full-service custom Christmas lighting installation business. So we'd come to your house and build a custom lighting system of Christmas lights. And yeah.
So my business is called Boards by Braxton. So it's a board that's about 18 inches by about 12 inches, a little bit bigger. It's a combination of oak, cherry, and walnut. It's wrapped, and the outside perimeter is about 1.5 inches, while the rest of the board is about 3/4 inch thick. So that way on one side it sits completely flat and has a drip tray, so you can cut all of your stuff, and then you flip it over and it has handles and you can display it on a charcuterie board. So it also has a seal coating of an antibacterial layer, so it both protects your board and the food that you're going to eat. So it streamlines the process of, you know, not only storing your charcuterie board and your cutting board by combining them, but it also makes it easier to host and travel with your, products that you're serving.
Wood shop at home?
Well, the board hopefully will be solving that problem.
Paige, does your mom own the flower shop on Main Street?
My aunt.
Your aunt, okay.
Yep.
So you've got product to use.
I do. That's one thing. She's really helped me out with that, and just I enjoy working there, and she's awesome.
Good.
I can't say anything.
Good.
So just to kind of wrap up, these are, like I mentioned, some ways to support the second annual Spring Kindle Market, which is April 22nd here at the Marshall YMCA. And then the trade show, which is exclusively for the young professionals in the CEO class from Lyon and Murray County, will be held at True Shrimp on May 24th from 4 to 7 p.m. So we hope to see you at both of those with your pockets full of cash, ideally. Does anybody have any questions, though, for us? For
Just
them?
general question for all three of you. How has this expanded your choice of what you want to do with your life? Has it broadened your horizons?
It definitely gave me more confidence to be like, we have support, but like saying I can understand, how do I say this? We have started the space at however age we are at right now and made these amazing connections within the community everywhere, and even word of mouth getting out to other people. So then you step out into the real world and you already have all this experience in your back pocket, and you can just have the confidence and the knowledge to continue that as you get older.
Great resume builder.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey,
you find a lot of different businesses they've never even seen or heard before in our community, and just learning from them and building connections with them is pretty cool.
I would say a lot of it is, when you do the regular school stuff, you have the traditional, you go to college or you go to a 2-year school or you enter the workforce. This has allowed me to think, okay, I'm an auctioneer, and everyone knows that Deitz's are just the name, it allows you to think that there's something beyond just go to college and do that. You can become something more. There's opportunities for growth, and you need to set your standards high because you're probably going to reach them.
you three are very poised.
So you guys, the board is always looking for new businesses, you say? Do the kids get involved with looking for recruiting new businesses or not?
They don't get involved in recruiting new investors, but they are involved in the recruitment of guest speakers and tours. So as they start to get a feel for things, they are tasked with either securing a guest speaker or a business tour. Or my favorite is they come to me and they say, "Can we go to this place?" I say, "Sure, go ask them." And so they're involved from that respect.
They have a great story to tell, so it's a great program.
How many people apply to be part of the program?
I'm not part of the application and selections as a committee that does that. I believe we did have between the 3 districts initially 21 accepted students, and then a few who had to drop for various reasons. I believe of the 21, I think there was 30 applicants.
30 to 35 applicants left.
30 last year, yes. And so this year applications are open until next Wednesday, March 15th. And I
And you
don't-
guys have spoken to the school about your experience?
Yeah, and then today we got to bring some of our friends that want to do it next year. So I brought 5 of my friends.
Oh, good for you. Good for you, Tate. Way to go.
The juniors can do it again, I take it, if they want?
What's
The
that?
juniors can do it again if they
No.
want? Oh, they
They
can't?
can
It's
only
just the
do
one?
it once.
Okay.
Yes.
Works
that
as
is-
an opportunity.
that
Makes high school more fun, though, doesn't it, to
Oh,
be
yeah.
involved in something that's not really traditional?
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Even the early morning starts, huh?
yeah, I think that would be the only downside if the recruiting numbers would be higher if it was, something in the second half of the day.
But we're hoping just to be like, the counselor has on the edge about timing, how come down to talk to them, or just say, carpooling is actually a big help. You wake up early, but you have someone else who drives, so you take a nap in the car or something. But once you're kind of up, you're awake, so that helps a lot.
As long as they're a good driver. No offense to
Yeah. I do drive them with, not always me, but a lot of our hosts are businesses who have offered, perhaps they can't do the $1,000 a month investment, they've offered to be host locations. And when they're host locations, typically a lot of times they provide breakfast for them as well, or coffee, which helps.
Is like Slayton the furthest they have to go, or?
We have some business investors in Chandler.
Oh,
So
okay.
Chandler would be the furthest that they would go.
I just want to say thank you. This program, like Beth said, we've been excited about this for 2 years, but it has exceeded my expectations this year. And that's thanks to all the work of all 4 of you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for,
For your leadership.
I love it. I told them that whoever they recruit better be as cool as them.
You guys have set the bar high.
They have. They very much have.
Paige, your Uncle John is my favorite plumber. I just want to let you know that. Is he your dad? He's my favorite plumber.
Hey, I love it. I'll have to tell them that.
He knows that.
well, thanks, you guys. Thank you. Appreciate you coming. You can stay for the rest of the meeting if you want, but you don't have to. Our next item is the approval of the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Motion by Bill Moso and seconded by Sarah Runchi to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? Not, I'll call for the vote. That is approved. Next item, any board reports or updates? From anyone?
I did have one question. I see that the state legislature is looking at adding a required class of finance for that. Where would you work that into?
There's a lot of classes being proposed right now.
I was just wondering.
In the legislature.
Because whatever they add, you take some away.
That's exactly my concern with that. You look at like the CEO program we just had present and all these CTE classes that we're looking to add, those take a lot of precious real estate in a student schedule, and the more classes required, the less room we have for those things. So I'm concerned about the number of courses that are being proposed, but of course, not all of them will make it through. Yeah.
Next item are discussion items. The first review of policies 516.5, 531, 532, 535, and 540. Any questions on those?
Share with the first review ones. 516.5 is the overdose medication. Our district recently had approved a naloxone policy as preemptive because we didn't have the model policy from MSBA. MSBA has now come out with the model policy. So after the 3 readings of that one, our 413-09 would become redundant. So that would remove that one. This would replace that. This is just the MSBA model one.
Very good. Next item is second review of policies 525 to 530. Any questions on those? If not, we'll move on. Our action item, approval of the memorandum of understanding with the Education Association regarding PLC times.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Motion by Bill Moso and seconded by Sarah Runchi to approve. Any discussion?
Sure. This MOU, we discussed that this was in the works at our meeting last week. When we moved the Wednesday dismissal time to 3:05, our teachers typically meet from 2:20 for an hour for their PLCs every week. So without that extra time built in the school day, the agreement with the EA that we're working on would allow them that extra half hour each day. They would work that extra time, so they'd still have an hour for PLCs, and then they'd bank that time at work as extra PD time or staff professional development time that they've already worked should we have any additional snow days this year. So it takes care of the staff time as well. The EA has presented this, so they're presenting it today to their membership. They have not voted yet, so the vote from the board would be contingent upon the EA approving this as well to be effective.
They're voting on it this week yet?
They're voting on
right?
it this week. It's a 5-day process in their procedure. So it wouldn't start this Wednesday for the additional time. It would start next week. This Wednesday is still the 3:05 dismissal. Just PLCs, the extension of PLCs would start the following week if it's approved by the EA.
Any further discussion? Not, I'll call for the vote. That is approved. And the meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Matt.